Okay, I've got a few more steps to do to finish up this door, and I'm on step 27, sealant on top and sides only. So, I've already done one side. I just applied the same size bead I had cut it for the other previous applications. I ran it from the top all the way down to the bottom, and then I just used my finger to bed it. I did notice that down in the corner there is a little space where it takes more because there's kind of a void in there where it goes around the corner. And other than that, I just covered that section. There is a little recessed cavity where it'll accept quite a bit of this caulk. And in this case, you can see it's overlapping on the flashing and also the side of this material. Up at the top, it's a little bit messy because I had previously applied on a previous step just a bead only at that location. Honestly, I wasn't quite sure. So that's just messy, but that should be fine. Okay, now I'm going to go and apply on the other side, which I haven't applied yet. And that just shows you what it's like before you apply it. This is where the flange, installation flange, flipped out. So there's kind of a moving piece there, right in that gap is obviously a place where water could conceivably seep in. Okay, on this side, I did have a problem with the flashing running up onto the side. And I just pushed that in as best I could, and I'll just go ahead and caulk right over that. And down at the bottom, you can kind of see where that little void is. It's where this trim piece here stops. And there's just a spot where there isn't anything there, so you can put quite a bit of the caulk into that little gap just to fill it up. Okay, so I'll just use pause and then caulk this part. Okay, I just applied the caulk on this side, but I didn't run my finger over it. And very commonly you'll get little voids and messy spots because I don't run this caulk on one continuous action because it goes from so low to so high. I need to go in one direction down low and reverse direction and then get on the ladder, etc. Okay, I'm just going to bed this down. Okay, I finished smoothing it out with my finger and I would say it seems fine. The next step is to run a bead across the top. Now at the top, when we got the door pushed in plumb, you can see that this flange is not really lying flat, or as flat as I would like it. And it's also possible that I just got too much squeeze out on the caulk. I might have overdone it, and it's preventing it from, lying flat. But there's really nothing I can do about that now. I'm just going to apply the caulk, then we're going to put the drip cap on, and then we'll finish this taping procedure. So first, the caulk. Okay, I applied the bead on the top, and then I put this continuous drip cap from one edge to the other. And I just lined it up to be more or less exactly the length that it was. That was how they showed it in the diagram, so that's what I did. Then I just tacked it up with 3 roofing nails. They didn't mention anything about that, but primarily because that flange was tipped outward, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to get pushed out more than it needed to, so I just drove it in. I did put one hole in off center because when I first lined it up and I started driving the nail, the thing moved about 1/8 of an inch off center, so it wasn't really covering on one end. So anyway, I just pulled that nail out and filled it with the sealant. Okay, now next step is to take flashing, the same flashing on the 2 sides, the flashing tape, and to run it underneath this flap all the way across. I overlapped it about 6 inches. It says move quickly to the next step here, but that is the step when you will put the drip cap in. They just say place the drip cap full width in the sealant, but I nailed it too. I put the sealant on a little thicker. I might have put the bead over it twice. Okay, now I'm going to overlap the side flashing, trying to put it in carefully now because it's under the flap. Okay, I'll just use pause here. Okay, I used the split backing here, and I've got this almost halfway across, pulling it back underneath it. This one I seem to be doing a better job than the other ones. Not pulling on it, I'm just trying to lay it out flat and then pull the release as I move along. I try not to get too tight into the corner because there's no reason to do that, and it's just going to catch on the other surface if you go into the corner, and that'll cause wrinkles. Okay, I'm just going to pull this across and finish up. Okay, I got that on without wrinkles. I still have to pull the second half of the release paper off and roll it. That's kind of in the shade. You might not be able to see it very good, but I did get it flat just by doing it slowly, not stretching it. Just lying it flat with my hand as I pulled the paper off. Now I'll pull off the other half and roll it out. Okay, I rolled it out with the roller. Still, I had some air bubbles I couldn't get out. And this part bulges out quite a bit, but hopefully that'll get covered by the trim. I was a little better when I started to get a bubble here. I forced the air out before I pushed down on it. In previous cases, I wasn't looking for the bubble in the spot where there's going to be a wrinkle. Okay, I'm just going to pull the tape down, and then I'm going to tape this according to the next step, which is step 30, step 29. There's the flashing, and then just going to add a tape and a tape, and then I'll be ready for the foam. Okay, I added the tape to the diagonal cuts just as shown. It doesn't say to do anything about this flap in the middle. I suppose it just stays there until the trim goes over it, even though in this case it's kind of flapped out because it's not a flap, it's being pushed out. But I think that'll be fine until I get the trim over it. Okay, that's going to be all for this section. I'm getting close to the end of the procedure, but I still have low expanding foam to do, and I have to go to the hardware store to get that. So, okay, that's all for now. Thanks.